The worker smashed a hole on the wall and was surprised to find that there was actually a girl body wrapped in a plastic bag inside. What's even weirder is that several workers who found the body went to the mental hospital the next day and committed suicide at night. However, the terrible thing didn't end. The police found 8 bodies on the same floor. At one time, all the residents were in a panic, so they invited a famous big sorcerer to write a letter. After a crazy shake of the wedding bell, a big mouth of blood splashed out. The sorcerer's soul came out and came to the space when the girl died. But it never occurred to me that the evil spirit here was hit by the evil spirit, his soul was locked in the building by the ghost. Just a second before the big sorcerer was torn to pieces. He desperately brought back the only clue to the girl's death. A list of the building's residents. As the big sorcerer died on the spot. This building has also become a ghost building with a long history. No one dares to step in again. Sometimes it's even daytime. The residents nearby will also see a white woman standing quietly in front of the window. It seems to be waiting for someone to come. Soon 8 years have passed. A car stopped at the gate of the ghost building at 10 o'clock at night. It turned out that after the big sorcerer died, his son Away inherited all of his steps that he was not willing to let his mother's soul be trapped in the building. Still entered the building. Away first painted the ancestral talisman on the door. This formed a magical barrier behind the door. No evil spirit can pass through the gate to harm Yang Jian. However, he did not expect it in the end. This door became his nightmare. Away took the flashlight and carefully walked to the second floor. He found no one in the corridor who touched the strange red. The negative spirit is all over again. Be careful of the ghost of multiple personalities. Away did not give up on this. Continued to the third floor of the crime scene. Not to mention that it is also very creepy here. There was actually a blood mark as big as his palm. Is this just a coincidence? He didn't think too much. According to pre-prepared building drawings came directly to the management room on the third floor. After pulling open the drawer for many years, the list that my mother found that year was finally found by him on the night of September 10, 1990. When it was found, it was completely consistent with the food that my mother brought back before her death. But why do you have to find the list first? It turned out that all the evil ghosts in the building were the Di Fu Ling. If you want to transcend them, you have to know the names and birth dates of the dead, so finding the list is the real beginning of the plot. Away was just about to start teaching the sound of the iron bridge rubbing the floor that suddenly came out. Then the sound was getting closer and closer. At the moment the door was opened, Away immediately hid in the cabinet of the room. Through a narrow gap, he saw a chair being turned around by a dirty thing. A strong sense of fear immediately wrapped around Away. He immediately guessed that this dirty thing must be the source of all the deaths in the building. It turned out that before he found the body of the plastic girl, there had been a very brutal murder in the building. The manager of the building, who was always in a hurry, suddenly went crazy. He killed all the residents on the third floor with an iron bar in one night. After that, he also mysteriously jumped off the building and committed suicide. How could the young Away be the enemy of this evil support? He couldn't even do it with his mother. Fortunately, the manager did not find him. After hearing that the door was closed, Away came out of the cabinet. At this time, it happened to be 12 o'clock at midnight. It was time for the ghost door to open. Then he put his palm on the door. And began to moan in his mouth. In an instant, the time began to flow. The whole building space was also constantly twisted. Away went through the day of the great massacre of May 5, 1990, because only on this day the ghost soul who had just become the father of the earth was the most likely to be poisoned. At this time, the massacre outside the house had begun. Away quickly tore down the list of residents. After hearing that there was no call outside, he carefully opened the door. He came directly to the room of the first person on the list. He started to vomit. 68-year-old Park Dae-hyuk. After saying his name, Away took out the ancestral incense demon. But at this time the room behind was suddenly opened. A dirty thing flashed by. Then the cabinet behind the back came out with a Di Fu Ling. Rushed to Away and bit him. Fortunately, he was not afraid to go down the incense demon. The Fu Ling lost the ability to resist in an instant. Black blood flowed through the room. I was born in 1968. On the other side, on the first night of 1996, this is Hongyue Gaoxian. 3 unknown little netizens also came to the building to explore. Just arrived at the third floor. Female anchor Ajin felt something was wrong. Someone has been blowing air on her neck at the same time. There has been a strange sound of sand in the room. The 3 of them walked in and found that the steep floor was shaking continuously. At first, they didn't care, but Xiaotian's words instantly made everyone feel cold. But it's not windy here. The 3 of them are scared to look at each other, and the expressions on their faces are struggling to come out of the water. Suddenly, hey, someone just bit my hair again. I even heard laughter right next to me. The 3 of them were ready to leave early, but Zhu Mao suddenly shuddered. He saw something very scary in the camera. In the next second, Ah Zhen's hair was strangely combed up. Xiao Tian and Zhu Mao were scared to run away, and Ah Zhen in the back rushed over in a strange posture. Hey, you disloyal kids. Are you still friends? Huh. Fortunately, there was no danger. At this time, Zhu Mao found that his camera was lost in the room just now. But now Xiao Tian and Ah Zhen dare not go back. Go straight downstairs to prepare to go home. But Zhu Mao is a complete mystery. Still go back to the room to get the camera. But when I got to the door again, Xiao Tian and Zhen's noise came from all sides. The whole corridor was exposed to the unspeakable ghosts. The next second, a pair of ghosts suddenly appeared. The eyes of Zhu Mao were covered. He actually appeared in front of Xiao Tian and Zhen. Hey, brother. Why are you here? Why are you here? Xiao Tian held the flashlight for a while and found that 2 people had been walking for half a day and only went down 1 floor. Is it really bleeding? At this time, there was a real noise coming from deep in the corridor, then a dirty thing rushed over the three of them. They ran down the stairs crazily, but after half an hour, the three of them were already exhausted. However, no matter how they ran, they would always go back to the second floor. Until a Jinling moved and ran in the opposite direction, and finally returned to the first floor. But the strange thing still came with it. The door on the first floor disappeared. Only Away was left behind when he came in. Are the three of them dead? At that time, the sound of the iron bar was heard again. The administrator appeared in front of the three with the iron bar. And the other side, Away, born in 1990, also encountered something strange. D. Fulin, room 304, didn't know he was missing. It is said that he, who had just become D. Fulin, could not leave the place where he died. Just when Away grabbed the brain, he suddenly found a hole in the compartment of the closet. He slowly opened the door. Unexpectedly, a little girl was hidden inside. Away gave him a big white rabbit and then asked the girl's name. The girl said her name was Ing Myling. Away was surprised to find that her name was not on the list. But so far, I can't care about that much. I can see him in red. It must be a ghost. Everyone is the same. So Away took out the magic box and walked towards him. The little girl was scared and retreated. The lights in the room suddenly began to dim. In an instant, the little girl was gone. Then a pair of feet appeared behind Away. But she turned around. There was an empty room behind her. 1 second later. Away accidentally caught up with the evil spirit. Countless seeing Away, the manager walked to her step by step, dragging the missing leg. Away knew she couldn't beat it, but now she had no choice but to retreat. The two of them just met, and Away was knocked to the ground. Just when the manager was about to kill her, there was a sudden sound of a broken soul. The manager suddenly disappeared. It turned out that her mother's soul was helping her in the dark. Away blamed herself and regretted it. Why is she so helpless? However, the manager came again. Away angrily picked up the little devil to prepare to fight with her, but was suddenly stopped by a little girl. You can't go. If you go now, this is Away's headache. She was surprised to find that she was full of blood. He decided to believe the girl and ran downstairs together. In the corridor, Away's palm was on the wall and left a blood mark. Seeing here, everyone also guessed that this blood mark was the one that appeared at the beginning. Why is this? The little girl brought him to room 204. Here, he told Away about his experience. It turns out that the girl's father is a complete bastard. He always beat him up after a long time. Because of his long-term abuse, he formed another evil personality in order to protect himself. That I'm going to kill your brothers and sisters. This is a sudden reminder of what happened in the previous floor. It turns out that the manager is not the real evil spirit. The real devil is the other evil personality of the little girl. It's him controlling the manager. That's it. Away asked the name of the little girl's evil personality. I'm going to take advantage of the fact that she hasn't woken up yet. However, the little girl is very scared at this time. The two souls are crazy about the control. He retreated in succession. The body began to pull out. Away's sword was lifted up and the demon was about to attack him. It was not until the moment it was blown away that the evil spirit of the eye had appeared. He immediately put his hand on the door and tried to escape. In 2002, the scene in the building changed instantly. Everything came back to normal. Did the two of them really escape? And the other side of the three people were still being killed by the manager. Suddenly, the door to the room 204 in front of Zheng opened automatically. He instantly walked in like he was possessed. Tian wanted to save him, but the door was stuck tightly. He just wanted to call Zhu Mao together. Unexpectedly, he also stayed in the same place as Zhong Xian. At this time, Zheng woke up in the house. It was late at night. With the fall of the bricks in the house, the little girl in the wind is still staring at him. Next second, Zheng was dragged to the bottom of the bed, but when he woke up the person he met was Away. The three of them decided to leave the building together. But on the way, Xiao Tian suddenly changed his face. He picked up the spray on the ground. It's written on the wall, "Defiling is all over again. Be careful of the ghost of multiple personalities." Away felt something was wrong at the moment he went into the building and knew that there was a word here.